Yay, the kids are finally asleep.
So do you feel like...
Playing a game?
I've got a feeling a boss fight's coming up.
Ooh, I just got wrecked.
Headshot, baby.
Ooh, it's your turn to get the baby.
So are you up to the challenge?
Run, 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 run.
And we're dead.
That's when I realized I have no idea what I'm doing.
GG. Welcome back to the KJ After Dark Gamer Parents Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm joined by my fabulous wife, Joanne.
Hey there, everyone. We're gamers, we're parents, and this is where we're going to talk about both of those. So you know where to find us. You can find us on twitter.com/KJAfterDark, or you could check us out on our Instagram at KJ_after_dark. And if you want to see us in action, we do stream every Tuesday nights at 9:30 p.m. CST. And the stream is on the YouTube channel at KJ After Dark. Do check us out. Do give us a subscribe, a like, and a comment.
And I'd also say that we streamed Borderlands 3 last week, and that's what we're going to be talking about later in the episode, giving our review on that game. So if you want to go check out our gameplay of that, head over to the YouTube channel and you can find it there. That was a lot of fun. I was really liking that game and playing it that day.
And you could skip right towards the end. That's where the boss fight is, and that's where you get to see the both of us getting more used to the controls and just showing off our skills. And of course, me killing the boss because Kevin died.
I knew you weren't going to let that one go.
It's very rare, so I had to share that part, don't you think?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, to be honest, you earned that one. You deserved it.
And Borderlands 3 is definitely one of the games that we really enjoyed since Outriders. Don't you think so, Kev?
Yeah, I think it's definitely up there with Outriders as a fun game to play. I know it's one that we've heard of before, but haven't played any of the previous Borderlands games. So definitely enjoyed it. Check out that stream video. Stay tuned to this episode if you want to hear us talk more about it a bit later. But at least before then, I know we kind of gave the socials. Did we have anything new on those to mention? I know we are also talking about starting to post a schedule as far as what we're going to stream, since we are doing a huge variety of different games.
I know.
And, we can kind of put out there what we are planning on doing. So if anyone is interested in watching us play any certain games, they can at least see that ahead of time.
Yep.
So we'll start kind of posting a few weeks out on what we are planning to play, so that that's out there and everybody knows.
Yep. That's a good idea, Kev. So here we are at episode number 19, so close to number 20.
We are almost there to the big 2-0.
I know, I'm so excited. It's like when our kids become 20 in the future, and then we'll be so excited, don't you think?
Yeah, if they aged a year every week, this is going by pretty fast. Obviously I still feel like we're very new to the whole podcast thing.
We are still new.
And I still feel like we're kind of a baby in that world. And, but it's been... Gosh, we started in January, so it's been
19 weeks,
almost 5 months. So,
wow.
I think we skipped 1 or 2 weeks in there, maybe just one.
Maybe just one when you were traveling. But yeah, I'm so excited we're reaching that milestone. That would be next week. We got to figure out what we want to plan for it. But besides that, it's the Memorial Day weekend, a 3-day weekend for all of us. And Kevin, are you excited? I know I'm excited to have you back here for 3 days.
Yeah, it's great to have the holiday weekend here. Make sure you're taking this time to remember anyone who's given their life for their country. What Memorial Day is being all about.
True.
The extra day off that many of us get is just a bonus. So, but definitely looking forward to enjoying that.
Yeah. Do you have any plans?
Well, we are planning a date night between the two of us.
Woohoo!
Where my parents will take the kids for a while. Thank you, parents.
Thank you so much.
Parents / babysitters. So really looking forward to that, because especially just as parents now, and with little kids, we don't really get that time away that often. And it's something that we definitely took for granted when we didn't have kids yet.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, do you feel like going out? Sure, let's go, go someplace and then, have that date night out. But now it's like, all right, we got to plan for somebody to watch the kids and not for too long at a time, and making sure someone else is available to,
Watch
to
your
do all
kids.
that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot more that goes into it. You can't really go off on a whim anymore. So definitely enjoy it and so thankful for it when we can make that happen. And hopefully tomorrow we get to do that. So I'm just going to enjoy it, just planning it kind of with you on like what we're going to do, because it's stuff we don't get to do that often.
And normally we like plan for a restaurant that we haven't been to because we're like foodies, we love to explore new food.
Any date night, we have to have like a meal in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Gotta eat, right?
And alcohol, yeah, but it's just like that's where we appreciate the food without having to like feed an extra mouth.
I feel like going out to eat with kids,
way different.
It's different, and it's like it's tough, it's hard.
That's true. It's like they're constantly trying to harass other customers who are eating, like they'll just walk off
dropping stuff, or all kinds of stuff that like the experience of us just going out by ourselves is way different, and we can just enjoy it, each other's company and the food and the service.
Just enjoy the food, just you and me, Kevin.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, which is why I'm just really looking forward to tomorrow. So
yeah,
if you are a gamer parent like us, make sure you still make time for stuff like this.
Apart from gaming, yep.
You have your gaming dates, and you have your real get out there dates.
Yes, I agree. And since we're so much of a foodie, and I know I've asked you this before, like off the record, but right now I'm going to put you on the spot, Kevin, and ask you, what's the most bizarre food that you've ever had? Like, it doesn't have to be disgusting. I'm just saying like bizarre, like exotic or something different that you've had in your life, I mean.
A few things come to mind. Maybe crispy bat wings.
Crispy bat wings? Wait, that's the WoW food that I made, right?
Yeah,
the
but it
World
was
of
still
Warcraft.
called crispy bat wings.
They're
right?
called crispy bat wings, but they're made from chicken wings, not bats.
I like to pretend, and
you want to
they're
pretend?
called
Okay.
crispy bat wings, so I'm going to pretend
Okay.
they're bats. But so
Okay.
technically, that's just chicken wings, so maybe that doesn't count. What about fell eggs?
Bell eggs and ham, that does not count either. That's, well, actually it might count. It's actually kind of like green eggs and ham from Dr. Seuss, but it's a devil eggs that you use avocado and wasabi to make. Instead of a mayo and mustard, you use avocado and wasabi. So it was really good. It was like greenish devil eggs, but it tasted so good.
This is good to share because I don't think we talked about this particular dish before. And it was between this and the banana bread were probably my favorites, and maybe even like the fell eggs and ham even more. But it's just, I mean, the deviled eggs with the avocado and wasabi is so good, and then the ham even that you used.
It's the prosciutto ham.
It was so good. I mean, those were gone in minutes. Like you'd make a batch, and between me, you, and your mom, like anyone who was over, we would just eat them all up
in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, less than 5 minutes.
Less than 5 minutes. Yeah, you guys eat it
Gone, just one
faster
after
than I
another.
could make it. I like spend like half an hour making it, and they just eat it up in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, those are good. So, I think the picture and recipe might be on the Instagram.
Yes.
That one's not super recent, but it's still there for sure.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
a
one of the
world
best
of,
things. So if you like cooking and you like deviled eggs, definitely maybe try that.
yeah, it's a World of Warcraft recipe, just in case we forgot to mention it earlier.
Yeah, but anyways, back to our point here. We were talking about weird and bizarre foods, right?
yeah. That's one of them.
I mean, it's different. It's not, but I think weird and bizarre kind of has like a negative connotation to it, but those are super good.
It's exotic
Sure.
food.
Yeah, exotic foods maybe. Another one, which is what I had with you once, was bone marrow soup.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good, I thought.
I forget exactly where we were, somewhere in Georgia, I want to say, but
Yeah, we were in Georgia a lot.
I mean, it was like I remember like eating it, or like I mean, I wasn't blown away by it, but
it's also for
I definitely
you, right?
didn't get in there on the whole bone marrow thing. Like I kind of like stayed away from that. But I think if I remember right, it was like one big bone, like in the the bottom of the soup bowl, and you could actually get like the bone marrow out of there. Now, if I forget, did you actually try the bone marrow part?
I did. I mean, I have bone marrow soup all the time back in my homeland. But yeah.
I think part of it is like the only times that like I've actually ever heard people talking about bone marrow is with people, with humans, right? Like science related or medically related. So like when people are talking about like bone marrow, I think of like in human bone marrow and stuff. So like it was weird like eating a dish that had bone marrow. But
no, it's a beef bone marrow. So
they didn't say that.
Well, it is from the beef bone, trust me. But
No,
it's
yeah,
supposedly
I'm sure it was, but it's still just kind of it's as a weird spot in my head.
In Asia, supposedly the bone marrow soup, I think it increases your libido.
Yeah, it was like it wasn't like a weird like red paste inside the bone. Was that accurate, or I didn't have any of that part specifically. I just had the soup.
Yeah, it's the bone marrow, but yeah, it's supposed to increase libido.
I don't know if I back that one, but I will just let Joanne go with that one. But yeah, bone marrow soup. I didn't really get into the bone marrow part, but that's probably one of the more wild things that I've eaten. I mean, I grew up in a household like we didn't really
explore
very like American style foods, and like nothing really. I mean, it was a lot of like eggs and bread and toast, or like bread and toast, same thing. But nothing really that exciting. Or I mean, it was still good food, but there just wasn't anything like wild.
Another recent food that we had that was kind of exotic, kind of bizarre to me was actually the haggis, the one from Scotland that we had. It was also part of the WoW cookbook, which was the Iron Forge rations. It supposedly had like the haggis on the top of it, of the bread, and haggis itself contains sheep's heart, liver, and lungs, all minced. So that was what was on top of the bread.
Yeah, and I kind of remember the taste. I don't really remember like what it's made out of, or
yeah, I didn't tell you what it was made of because I didn't want you to feel like
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want me to eat something and you're like what's in it is kind of questionable, you're better off just not telling me what it
but
is.
you said it was pretty good. I remember you having like a few of them, like
yeah, everything you make is pretty good.
Aw, thank you. But yeah, it was actually sheep's heart, liver, and lungs. It was like all minced up, and then you could see it. It's on Instagram as well. It's called Iron Forge Rations, and you could see the picture and the recipe on there. Really good. It's from Scotland, so.
Yeah, I would have not have expected any of that stuff you just mentioned being there. If you'll excuse me 1 second, I need to go purge myself.
Yeah, you're funny. I don't know. Were you with me when we went to that French restaurant? There was like escargot being served. That was another bizarre, or exotic food, I would say. It's like
I don't remember. I mean, yeah, escargot is probably one of those things that's kind of strange or bizarre that some people were like, no, that's snail. I'm not going anywhere near that. Or one that people will get more adventurous and try. It's one that I've had before. It's kind of like, I mean, it's not crazy about it, but it's not horrible.
Yeah, it tastes like oysters, basically. And most recent was also, remember when we went to the barbecue shop in the mall and I got this larvette snack pack. It's like flavored larva.
I thought it was like crickets you got or something. Or was
and
it
crickets.
larva?
I got two. So I got a pack of crickets and I got a pack of larva.
Yeah, which kind of looked like big maggots or something.
Yeah. Flavored maggots. They had like barbecue flavored maggots and cheese flavored maggots.
Don't they just make potato chips or something that, like flavor chips, not maggots or larvae or whatever?
Did you get to try any? I remember sharing
that
it.
one I did not want to try.
Okay, yeah. I think I tried it with our babysitter, the kid's babysitter. But
yeah, as long as you had somebody else to eat it with you, then like, all right, you're good. I'm good. I don't have to eat it.
I know. Well, she happened to be a foodie too, so that was fun. But yeah, these are all the bizarre foods we've had, and I know I have a lot more. Those are just the ones that I specifically chose from like recent food places with Kevin or
Was there a lot of that kind of stuff in Malaysia?
no, the ones I have in Malaysia are way different from this. These ones are from like the Europe ones, like the haggis and escargot and the larva and stuff is all from here. The one in Malaysia that I have was like sago worms. It's like
A bag of worms?
no, it's a worm from the tree, like a sago tree. You can Google it. It's like ham and eggs. So it really tastes good when you fry them. You could also eat them like raw, but I didn't because I didn't want them to bite my lip. And then there's
Wait, like, what do you mean raw? You mean like still alive?
yeah, still alive. You just
not even just not cooked, but like still like
Yeah.
completely alive.
It's like melted butter. Apparently, my brother had it. Like
So a worm that tastes like, what do you say, eggs and ham
When you
and
fry
melted
them.
butter.
and then melted
It's like a
butter
magic
when raw.
worm.
Mm-hmm.
I want the worm that tastes like pizza and hamburgers.
You're funny, but it's a very yummy worm. It's like as big as your thumb, kind of like really fat and juicy. And it's a tree worm, so it's not like it eats decay or stuff like that. It eats the tree.
Now, the only worms I've had are gummy and coated with sugar.
Those are not real worms. Those are like shaped like worms.
As close as I've gotten.
That's funny. Anyway, so it's not just in Asia that they have bizarre foods. I mean, it's all over the world, and I just enjoy checking out new cultures and exotic food as long
Yeah.
as it's safe, you
I
know.
feel like for me, like even if I'm at a restaurant where you see something a little more exotic on the menu, like I'm like creature of habit. Like I like my go-to menu items. Like even if I've never been to that place before, if there's something on there like some kind of pasta or like club sandwich or just something that like I know I'm going to like and enjoy. Like I usually just go towards that versus something completely different that I've never had or heard of or something. It usually takes somebody else ordering it, like for me to try it, or like if it's being ordered for the table, or like you bring something back. It's not like too out there.
So do share if you have any other exotic, yummy dishes that you've had or you want us to try if it's available here. So do share it in the comments or in our Discord, wherever.
Yeah, we'll make a point to go and try something, and I might kind of promise to try whatever it is, depending on what it is.
Yes, we promise.
Scout's honor,
Yeah, Scout's honor. Kevin would do it. I'm sure he would.
with Joanne's help.
Yes. So yeah, that was our little conversation starters about our food experience. Kevin has something to share on the gaming side, right?
Yep. So just as a weekly update on what new games are out on Game Pass this last week, we do have Floppy Nights on console, PC, and cloud. Hard Space Shipbreaker on PC. Sniper Elite 5, which I've heard a lot of good stuff about that one, on console and PC. Cricket 22 on PC, and Pac-Man Museum on console, cloud, and PC.
Is the Pac-Man museum kind of like Pac-Man?
I have no idea. I mean, Pac-Man, I thought Pac-Man was usually just like Pac-Man. I don't know what the museum part of that means. I show it should have been released by now, but I wasn't seeing it on our Game Pass yet. So I don't know if there's been a delay or why it's not there yet. But yeah, we'll definitely take a look at those ones. And Sniper Elite did show co-op, so maybe we'll see if that's something we can play together.
Ooh, sure.
It looks kind of cool. We also have the video game industry data results for April, and we have video game consumer spending in the US saw a decline of 8% when compared to the same time last year, which I think makes sense. Even though I think, more people were probably inside and playing video games this time last year than this year because of COVID and all of that.
Mm.
But seeing a little bit of a decline there. We also have the top 10 selling video games for April of this year, both retail and digital. I'll just run through those really quickly.
Are you going from 10 or 1?
Oh, we're starting from 10 and we're working our
Ooh.
way to 1.
Sure.
And what I usually like to do before I look at this, I try and guess which one's going to be the top selling game for the month, just based on what I saw and what people were talking about, and then see if I come anywhere close. I would say this is the first month this year where I was completely surprised by. And I don't know if it's just a target audience thing that the people that I'm talking to are not the people who are buying the number 1 game this month, but we will get there. Let's get through the first 9 first, though. So, ranked number 10 for April was Pokemon Legends Arceus, which has been on this list for the last few months since it was released. But it looks like this might be the last month where it's on here. It's ranked number 10, so most likely they're going to fall off next month. Ranked 9 was Gran Turismo 7. At 8, we have Mario Kart 8. That is suitable. Number 7, Horizon 2 Forbidden West.
I was expecting it to be higher than 7.
Yeah, that one, I mean, I think there's a little bit more disappointment in the second game of the Horizon series compared to the first. It was a big hit. But anyways, number 6, Call of Duty Vanguard. That one has been on the list for a while, kind of holding strong. Number 5, Nintendo Switch Sports, which would probably be Dylan's favorite on this list. Not that he's played the Switch yet, but his love for Wii Sports is still very much alive.
Yep.
You know, probably
We got to check that out.
over a decade after we first got it ourselves. But
I know.
yeah. And there's a video of him playing Nintendo Wii on Instagram if you do want to check that out. That's awesome. Ranked number 4 is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I haven't played a Kirby game in forever. Have you ever played a... Well,
No.
for you, Kirby and Jigglypuff are the same thing. So.
Don't say that. No. I knew you were going to bring that up. Yeah, they look alike. But yeah, I've never played a Kirby game. But Kirby is so cute. We should check it out.
Yeah, Kirby was always fun in the Super Smash games. But there are like Kirby standalone games like this one. And they're family friendly. They're kind of fun. Kirby is a fun character to play as. Rank 3, we have MLB The Show 22. At number 2, you're getting up there. 2 is Elden Ring, knocked down from the number 1 spot last month.
Yeah.
And I think it was the number 1 spot. I don't remember if it was February, but I know it was March too.
Yeah, for a long.
Yeah, and so the number 1 game for April in sales.
Drum rolls.
Okay. Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Ooh, and I think that's because it's new, right?
I mean, yes, it's new.
That's why.
I've heard some really good things about it, but I didn't really start hearing about it until it came out as like the number 1 game for the month. So I did hear there's like 400 unlockable characters that you can play as in the game, which seems insane to me. Like that's a lot of characters. Like they're all a little bit different, and I'm sure some of them are kind of lame, but out of 400, you got to have some pretty fun ones in there too. So that would, I mean, the Lego games, a lot of people like them. That's something that I could see us playing, especially when Dylan gets around to a little bit more. But at least a lot of people that I'm talking to haven't really played too many of the Lego games, so that one kind of snuck up on me. But yeah, that's the top 10 selling video games for April.
And we're so behind that. I mean, I do want to try Elden Ring. Like, it's been a while, and just waiting for...
Yeah, I don't think we've played any of the games on this list. Elden Ring...
Waiting for a console?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point where maybe we just play it PC, otherwise kind of waiting for a PS5, because we are still one of those with no PS5
I know,
or Xbox X or S, so we are still sticking with that PS4 and playing mostly PC at this point. But Elden Ring would be a fun one to get into at some point.
True.
Actually, Call of Duty Vanguard is the only one that we have.
Yeah, I was going to say that King Kong.
I am a Call of Duty player, so I did play some of that. I still play a lot of Warzone. And then Horizon 2, I believe, is still console only.
Yeah, I thought it was, but
we
may be wrong.
I don't want to play it on PS4, especially as we're still trying to get a PS5. So
yeah,
maybe if we get a console, we could play it on, but haven't gotten into that one yet. And then Mario Kart, I haven't played Mario Kart like since the original.
A lot of it are kids' games. I wonder.
On Nintendo 64. Gran Turismo is a fun game, but I feel like we kind of got our money's worth lately out of Forza Horizon. I mean, I say money's worth, but it was part of a Game Pass, so we didn't really have to pay anything extra for it. But that kind of like satisfied my racing itch for a while, so I'm not really ready to jump into that one. And then Pokemon Legends is that one's interesting to me because I fell in love with the original like Pokemon games on like my Game Boy Color. I think it was probably like in 2000, maybe late 1990s. The Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, and that kind of like top down style where like you're just moving squares, moving around different squares and going through grass and encountering Pokemon and trying to catch them and level them up and learn new abilities and stuff. And the way that Pokemon games look now, it just feels completely different. I think if there was like a remake of like the older ones, like that would be more fun or entertaining to me. And plus, I don't know like any of the new Pokemon. I don't even know Arceus what or who that is. So I feel like I would be way behind. Like I'm back to like the Pikachu, Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Kirby, and all of those Pokemon.
Kirby, Jigglypuff.
I know, I'm just teasing you. Like Mew and Mewtwo, like all those older ones are the ones that I like. That's like I get to reminisce about that. So, but anyways, I know we have a lot to talk about with Borderlands being that was the game of the week, the game that we are going to be reviewing, the game that we streamed this last time, and we've been playing ever since.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and jump into that. So, Borderlands 3 Game of the Week was free on the Epic Games Store earlier this week, and we did mention that when we were streaming it, so if you were able to pick it up, awesome. If not, it's not free anymore, but at least as of time of recording, it is still 75% off. So just so everyone's aware, Epic Games Store is doing a month-long sale. Got a few weeks left. This week's free game is BioShock, but Borderlands 3 was a great free game to pick up there, so we're going to jump into that one. Now, this was our first experience with the Borderlands series, which has been around for a while, and has definitely had a good amount of popularity. Yeah, and so we'll go ahead and explain the game a little bit, but it is a first-person shooter. You pick a character like at the start of the game, like one of 4 different characters, and they all kind of have their uniqueness to them, right? There's the Beastmaster guy who has he can have different pets. There is the Siren who you picked.
Yeah, that's me.
Kind of has like magic abilities, kind of, I'd say, right? Like you kind of have like a slam thing you can do.
It's more elemental, if you ask me, don't you think?
Okay.
The facing, just like I jump in the air and I kind of like slam to the ground.
Yeah, I've seen you use that one, which is cool.
Yeah,
okay.
I like mine.
Very cool. And I forget the name of the guy I chose, but I have like a...
Your operative.
Yeah, like a drone that goes around and shoots people, and I can throw down a shield, and apparently I make like clones of myself and all that. And then there's another one that gets like a machine suit or something. Neither of us are playing as that character, but that's one we were looking at. And then, like I said, it's a first-person shooter, and it's a co-op campaign, and right now we're just going along doing quests, shooting at bad guys, taking down bosses, but there's also a story that we follow along with, and the most part, there's sirens, which are people who have like special powers, and you meet a good siren at the early stages of the game, and then there's some bad ones you come across, kind of end up being like the bad guys in the game, and then
Calypso Twins.
There's like some kind of cult that like follows these Calypso Twins, and you're kind of encountering them here and there, and it's a neat story between them. And what's the other girl's name that we kind of befriend at the beginning? Firehawk?
Lilith, right? Her
Lilith.
name.
And I like how they introduce the characters, right? Because every time you see a character for the first time, like they'll say a line or something, and then it'll like zoom in and like freeze kind of, and it's like all dramatic, and it shows their name and like their title kind of thing, right?
Yeah, kind of like a Marvel comic thing.
Yeah,
don't you think?
or like even in like a lot of higher quality movies, they do that kind of stuff where it's very like lighthearted feel, and it's fun.
It is.
And it's the map seems pretty big, and you can kind of like go wherever you want, and you're on one planet, and then you get to the point where like you leave that planet in like a spaceship, and then you get to explore this
Other
spaceship,
planets,
and then
yeah.
you get to go to a different planet. And, the spaceship that you're on is pretty big, and then you get to the next planet, and like there's a lot more areas to explore and stuff. So I don't know how many planets there are in the game yet. We're not really all that far,
Yep.
but it seems like there's a lot of exploring that you can do. You can collect like different vehicles that you unlock. You can use those to get around, and they have weapons on them too, so you can kind of fight with them for the most part.
Yeah. It is a big map indeed. I mean, it's like a freaking galaxy that we're in and exploring planets from planets, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even. I mean, we don't have the time to like explore everything in every game, but I could tell this is one that would take a long time to like explore every nook and cranny of each map, right? Because there's multiple planets we're talking about here.
Nobody got time for that.
Yeah, so we're kind of just going through, getting to experience a lot of the story. Quite a few like cutscenes and all that are in there. What do you think about the graphics? That's something that I wasn't sure about at first, and I've changed my opinion a little bit. But what do you think about that, Joanne?
You changed it in a good way or a bad way?
In a good way, definitely.
Yeah, at first I was like, hey, it looks a bit cartoony, almost like something that's out from the Marvel comics from the 80s, those kind of sketch looking drawings or something. But at first, and I was like kind of nervous about being a first person shooter mode because I was used to the third person shooter mode in the Outriders, but I got the hang of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think most games I prefer like the first person shooter, unless it's really important for you to be able to like be aware of your surroundings. Like in Grounded, you need to know if there's enemies behind, like your left or right or behind you, and that kind of thing. But in this one, I think it's great. I like that it's first person, especially because there's a lot of ranged encounters with all the weaponry. And I feel like it's easier to, hit your targets and everything if you're doing more first person, and then the, zooming in or scoping doesn't feel weird like when you're in third person. And I feel like it handles that kind of stuff a little bit better when it's first person.
Yeah.
And then on the graphics, like what you were kind of talking about, but yeah, it kind of feels like you're like it's in a comic book or something.
Yeah.
At first, like seeing the gameplay of it, like when I looked up the game, and I was like, I don't think it's for me, because I kind of tend to go more towards the games that have higher quality graphics. And this one, it looks very cartoony, but I was like, well, it's a AAA game, it's free. It's a popular game. A lot of people like it. Let's check it out and see what it's all about. And I would say within minutes, like it was already starting to grow on me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can get used to this.
Yes.
Although it's very like cartoony and everything. And I think one of the problems I had with it like right away was like it's like you almost like don't know the physics of it. Kind of seem off because it's like you don't really know where you can stand or how far away things are, how big things are, because they're being represented in a way that's like so abnormal. But I kind of got used to it really fast, and now I'm actually kind of enjoying how the graphics are come through and how everything is displayed, and I'm starting to like appreciate that a little bit more.
Yeah, I
so
think
that's something that I've changed my opinion on.
I think it's really unique. Like Kevin said, it grew on us within minutes, mostly because of the storyline, I think.
Yeah, I think if it was a game that was trying to be more serious, it would feel a little bit more, it would feel different, right? Because I think it's, like you said, it kind of has like that fun persona, and the characters are always like saying funny, silly things, and even like the enemies you encounter, like
or that robot
weird things. Or what was his name? Claptrap?
Yeah, Claptrap, exactly. Yeah,
he's funny.
He's the first person you meet, right? And he's already funny, giving himself all the credit.
Yeah, like the first mission you do with him is pretty funny.
Yeah.
That was a good hook into the game, and his character being a part of that, and then you meet Lilith and Ellie, and I'm kind of forgetting it. I'm bad with names, so I'm forgetting all the other ones. But all the characters are interesting and unique and humorous.
Yes.
And it keeps you interested in the game for sure.
Exactly.
Another thing that I like is you're collecting weapons all the time, and Between pistols, shotguns, submachine guns, like assault rifles, snipers, different grenades.
Chills.
Yeah, different shields too. Thank you. And at least as far as the weapons go, I feel like I haven't really found two of the exact same weapon. Everything seems a little bit different. Like it's either a different level or a different damage or have different effects on them. And it's not just like, oh, does more damage, or this one shoots faster, or this one can carry more ammo or something like that. But a lot of the effects are different. Like, oh, it shoots 2 or 3 or 4 bullets at a time instead of 1, or it can also switch into a shotgun, or the bullets ricochet, or things like that aren't in every other game. There's even some where, like, when you reload the gun, instead of just reloading it, you throw the gun and it explodes, and then you like materialize a new gun in your hand.
I know, that
and
was cool.
And it has like full ammo. So like that's how you reload, but then you can also like throw your gun and it does damage to somebody while you're reloading. So like I've never seen a game do anything besides just, oh, you reload the gun.
Yeah.
So stuff like that was interesting. Or like there's ones where how it'll like freeze, has like a freezing element, so it'll freeze your enemies or
burn your enemies.
Yeah, so I feel like they get really creative and like giving you all kinds of different weapons to come across and use. And like no two weapons have seemed exactly the same so far.
Yeah.
They all look different, and even like some, like when you're aiming down sights, it puts like a little shield up kind of around your head, so it blocks some incoming fire that way. So like that's again something that they got really creative about.
That's why everything's like supposedly customized. Like the
yeah,
cyclone.
Maybe. Oh, they have a vehicle that's basically like a wheel. And you're sitting like inside of it, and it has like these mounted guns on it. So that's cool. It's not just a car, which they could have done. So.
I think they were pretty imaginative.
Yeah, at least like the first planet was very Mad Max feeling. You feel like these outlaws are kind of going around just collecting whatever valuables they can, and people stealing from each other, and like just groups of people just trying to get by.
And the current planet we're in is more like city-like or
at least like it was. I mean, it looks like a city and everything, but like there's no civilians or anything. It's just like the psychos or cult or whatever they're
children of the vault. They're called children of the vault.
Yeah, they're everywhere. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, they're the followers of the twins, the Calypso Twins.
Calypso Twins.
And another thing that I want to mention about what they did in this game that was really good, in my opinion, is the voice acting. I mean, like, I feel like every character has like a very distinct voice or personality that, like even when you haven't seen them, you kind of like them just by listening to them. And I have to be honest here, I kind of like how the Calypso Twins, Tyrene, one of them, sounded like.
Really, she's very, very enthusiastic and likes to talk a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not always a good combination.
Yeah.
And I could see how some people might be annoyed by that character. But, I mean, I think she keeps it interesting, and she'll like talk over like while you're fighting enemies and stuff, right? Like she'll kind of like, as if it's like a broadcasting.
Yeah, they are broadcasting. It's a live broadcast.
The live stream. I'm glad that you mentioned the voice acting, because that's not something that I normally like pay a lot of attention to, or like, I mean, I know it's in there and everything, but I don't like think about whether it's good or bad voice acting. I kind of forget that that's part of the quality of the game. But yeah, I definitely second that. A lot of the characters kind of feel very different from each other and like have their own uniqueness or personality to them, right? Between there's a Claptrap, he's the humorous, like one like kind of always getting in trouble. You like have to like help or save.
Yeah.
And then there's Ellie. She has like a southern accent, right?
She does. You can't help but like her.
Yeah, she's like not really afraid of anybody, it seems like.
And
then even the characters that we're playing as, like, they will talk to people or say things too. So like, even though we're not an NPC, but they have like designated lines for them to say at certain points, so that it kind of feels like our character, we're still a part of it, and we're not just player 1 and player 2 in this world. you know.
I kind of like my character in Outriders more because she's more like serious and everything. But
I think Outriders was a lot more like story driven, and like remember there was tons of cinematics in that game
that you
right?
didn't
So-
skip. Whoa.
No, I don't skip. Yeah, I don't skip the cinematics. But so like that gave you a lot of time to like see your character interacting with other people and developing that story a little bit more. And I mean, in this one, we haven't seen our own characters at all, right? Like outside of like the the screen when you're about to start the game.
Yeah.
Like there's no cinematic where it shows our characters doing anything or interacting with any. I think only cinematics it's like about other people.
About Lilith or the twins.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we talked about a lot of the things that we've liked about the game.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you don't like about it?
Inventory space. Oh my goodness. There's like for how much loot there
Yeah,
is.
they give you a lot of loot.
A lot of loot.
And
Like
yeah, you can. I mean, you can hold a lot of stuff. To be honest, like it seems like the inventory space you can hold a lot, but it's just they're constantly like every box you open like has a weapon or a grenade or shield, and like that all takes up one inventory slot. And you can start off maybe holding something like 10 to
I think
15,
15.
somewhere
Yeah.
in there. I don't know exactly. So like that sounds like a lot. If you hold 15 weapons, like that's a lot. But
No, 15 items, not 15
yeah, but I mean, I'm
weapons.
saying like if you had 0 grenades or shields, you could technically hold like all weapons,
Yeah.
and that seems like a lot. But you get so many things dropped that you have to pick and choose what you want to take with you.
No, and I can't pick and choose in the midst of battle.
I think maybe if items was just a little bit more rare, but like they still sold for more, like maybe that would be better or worth it.
Yeah.
Really, because you're just picking up everything you can, and then when your inventory is full, you're trying to either drop stuff that's not that valuable, or wait until you find a shop, and then you can sell everything that you
I
don't
know.
need, all the garbage to free up space and make a little bit of money.
Yeah. So that's one thing I don't like. What about you? Do you have anything that you dislike about the game?
Yeah, so the inventory thing is a small thing. I don't think that's that
Yeah, it's
bad.
a small thing.
I mean,
Still worth mentioning.
Outriders was nice because we never had to worry about that. But the only other thing besides that is I noticed it kind of right off the bat. There are way too many things to loot in this game. I mean, when you kill enemies, they'll drop stuff. But then there's also boxes and mailboxes and lockers and chests and even like little pile of bones and stuff that you can loot like everything, and it's kind of overwhelming because again I kind of said I'm the player that does not like to be wasteful at all, and I try and like grab everything and pick up everything and make sure I'm looting everything because I don't want to miss anything, and it's just like it takes forever like trying to go from every box to make sure I'm looting everything. I don't know how you kind of feel about that one, or if you're kind of doing the same thing. I know I'll kind of run ahead and just trying to like loot everything as fast as I can.
I know. I try to like loot before you. The best thing to loot is money. I
Yeah, I mean that doesn't take up any inventory space.
know.
Weapons are nice to find in loot boxes too, as long as you can still carry them. But it seems like it's too time consuming. Like they need to make less of them, but have them have more stuff in them.
I know, right? Anything else that you don't like about the game?
No, I think that was it. But I mean, I did remember something else that I do like about it.
I think we're
If we're going back to the positive, sorry here.
Okay, no
So,
problem.
I like how fluid the movement is in the game. Like you can move back and forth very quickly
Yeah.
and smoothly. It doesn't feel like it takes a long time to get anywhere because your character moved quite fast.
Yeah.
Even like the sliding is cool because you actually slide like a good distance.
Yeah, I see you slide a lot. I like rarely slide.
Yeah, because I'm used to playing Warzone with slide canceling and
Gotcha.
all of that, and I don't know, just
I like jumping more, and I
yeah,
feel like you can jump.
you can jump like pretty far and high, right?
I know. I'm just thinking like maybe it's because we're on a different planet. It's not Earth, so maybe there's
Oh,
less
maybe the gravity is
or
different?
something. Yeah.
I don't even think about that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like my character's like sprinting everywhere I go, which is cool because I can just we can breeze through everything and get from one room to the next really quickly.
Yeah, and we could fast travel too, so that really helps.
Yeah, though that's required just because the map's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, did we miss anything, or should we hop into the ratings?
Let's hop to the ratings where it's fun.
All right, as always, I am going to make you go first into each category. So first category of convenience, what do you think?
I think it's very convenient. I think it's convenient because number one, you could fast travel even though the map is big. And then number two, wherever you stop at, that's where it auto saves and pretty easy. Number three, I think it's also kind of like a lot of safe spots for you to go AFK versus like when we were playing Back 4 Blood where everything just respawns right behind you. This was pretty convenient for me. I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Okay. So on convenience, I think I'm with you there. I actually wrote down a 9 as well.
You're copying me.
No, I wrote it down first. So no copying being done here. Like you said, yeah, I feel like enemies don't really seem to wander around a lot. So like if you're in a safe place, that should continue being a safe place. Also, the game seems to like constantly autosave, so like you can kind of just leave, end the game wherever you are, and then next time you hop back in, you should be in the exact same spot. I guess the only thing on the convenience is that it doesn't, like a story-driven game like this, it's usually not one that's ideally to like hop in for like 10-15 minutes and then hop out. It just kind of feels weird doing that with these kinds of games. I'd rather do like Call of Duty or Halo or Among Us or something where you can hop in for like a game or two and then hop back out. But everything else that I'm saying kind of drives a higher amount of convenience, so that's kind of why I still give it high score. What about on communication, Joanne?
Communication. I feel like we talk about it in game and out of game a lot. So I would give it a 7.
7. Okay. Any details to add there?
Well, outside the game, it's normally like we talk about it because it's fun and it's very good for gamer couples or gamer parents who want to have something else to talk about apart from your children and your daily boring lives.
Yeah.
This game is really fun. And then in game, I don't think it's that necessary. I mean, even if you want to play it like as a solo player game, it would work. I think together it makes it fun. So there's not a necessity, but always a good option to have.
Yeah, I think so. I'll start off by saying I also gave it a 7 on communication.
Oh my gosh, this is the second time he's copying me.
I know it seems like I'm copying you, but maybe we are just that much in tune. Like if we have the exact same ratings for this whole thing, then that might be a little fishy. But yeah, I think we're on the same page on a lot of the stuff as far as the communication goes. As far as like playing it, I think a lot of our communication comes down to like, okay, let's go this way, follow me, this is the right way we're going. There's not a whole lot of like strategizing between like, oh, you hold them off here, I'll go around the other side, or pointing out like which enemies to go for first or that kind of thing. So because it's not too difficult of a game in that way so far. A lot of the communication is around like talking about the story, or like if there's like a twist in the story or something, and we'll talk about it, or like about these characters or what we think about them, or or like a cool weapon we found where it's like, oh, check out this weapon I just got, or that kind of thing, or like, oh, I just found a super high item level weapon, and we'll like talk about the items that we're getting and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is not like required communication for us, it's just talking because we want to. Yeah, I mean, but we still definitely gets us talking.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about.
So there's a lot going on, and it keeps our attention, and that kind of keeps us talking. So the next one is story. Joanna, what do you got?
The story is pretty good so far. I usually get bored of like lame stories, but this is something that I've kind of been really interested in, and kind of trying to figure out what this vault is that we're all hunting for. And
yeah, I don't know what's in it.
I know.
It's got to be something good, right? We're taking whatever's inside.
But yeah, story-wise, I'm giving it a 7.
7, okay. Well, we're finally not in sync here. I gave it a 9 for the story.
Oh, really?
I mean, at least as far as all the games we played so far, I think maybe like Outriders is probably one of the ones who had, a really good story as well. I feel like so far it's kind of par with that one, and I feel like that's a main part of why we're enjoying it. I think like the weapon variety and the level design and everything, and then the story are kind of like the main things that are kind of keeping me hooked in. So, I'm really appreciating the game with a good story right now. So, yeah, it got a 9 from me.
Ooh, well, quite close. Just 2 points away.
Yeah. What about on repeatability?
I'm not sure right now since we're trying to complete the story. It seems pretty repeatable to me, but I don't know if I'll redo it. I'll probably, even if I do redo it, I'll try like I'm dying to find out about the Beastmaster and the Gunner class. So because I've seen you play the operative class and I'm doing the Siren class, I might just repeat it just to see, how the other two characters are, just out of curiosity, and especially since we know the gameplay, probably fun to repeat it. This is hard. I want to copy you now. I'll give it a repeatability of 7.
7. Okay. I gave it an 8 for repeatability.
Ooh, I almost choose 8, but
Yeah.
I'm like, eh.
And that's because, well, one, it's a fun game. It got me kind of hooked, and there's 4 different classes you could play. So, I mean, we got 2 of them covered now. So
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what
technically
I
we
said.
could say like, hey, let's play through it again, and we'll play the other 2
I
characters
know.
and see what they're all about. And not only that, but each character has like 3 different like talent trees.
Skill
I'll call
trees,
them,
yeah.
skill trees that you can like build down, and they all 3 like seem very different. At least the ones that I've seen so far. So like not only are there the 4 different classes, but there's the different like skill paths you can take, which would make them feel a bit different too.
Mm-hmm. That is true. I forgot about the skill trees.
Yeah, I mean, and you could play through the game like going more like long range sniper play styles, or close range shotguns and that kind of thing, or like whatever feels good to you, and you can change that up with other playthroughs. Play different classes. So I think the repeatability is pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. What about on fun? Last category.
Oh, it is pretty fun. I mean, I would say it's as fun as Outriders or Final Fantasy.
I do think the combat is more fun than in Outriders.
What?
It was more like this one's more engaging, I feel like. Like there's more enemies that come at you at a time, and the enemies will like talk to you, kind of like they'll like bicker back and forth, or they'll like say stuff to you, or like the boss of that area will like be broadcasting something out at the same time.
I like the first boss fight, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, whereas like Outriders was more like, oh, here's an enemy running at me, let's shoot them until they're dead. And
I don't know. I like my Outriders power too, so I would put them on par.
Yeah, that's true. I think the like skills and abilities and spells and all of that in Outriders were a lot funner to use and cooler to look at than in Borderlands. Definitely, yeah.
And technically, because I have that siren power, which kind of remind me of like one of the Outriders skills, So it's like
Sure.
you're doing what you call it, magic, as you call it, or abilities and guns. So it's like kind of similar that way.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm gonna put the fun at 10.
10.
I know.
10 out of 10 for fun. Okay. I am giving it a 9 for fun.
Is this because of the dislikes, the looting, and the inventory space?
Yeah, I mean, I think if they fix those 2 things for me, it would probably get a 10 if those 2 things were different. I have a hard time giving out 10s just because it means that there's nothing wrong with it.
Not really.
So
I just feel like those dislikes of mine are just not it's a minor dislike. Like it wouldn't really affect how
Sure.
fun I rate it. But I respect you. 10 and 9 is quite close.
Okay, 9 is still really good. So
Yeah, so I bet we're like 1 point away from another or 2.
yeah. So what was your total? Do you know?
No,
I will
wasn't
add it
counting.
up for you. You got a total of 40,
Woohoo!
and my total was 42.
I knew it.
Yep. So we were pretty close there, and that's both of those are pretty high scores. I mean, maybe Outriders, Lost Ark, we're kind of up there. I believe those 2 games were one of the higher rated ones that we've done so far. This adds another one to the list. I'm glad that we decided to do this one. Thank you,
Me
Epic
too.
Games,
Thank
for
you, Epic
making it
Games.
free
I know.
so we could do this, without breaking the bank, because there are 2 of us and 2 PCs and double the price of everything, but double the price of free is still free.
Yeah.
So that worked out. Although, that being said, we are done with our ratings for Borderlands 3, although I don't know if I'm done playing it.
Yeah, we're not done playing it.
Done
I want
playing
to
it.
finish it. I want to reach end game. So
Yeah, so how about that? You want to play some Borderlands 3?
go play.
All right. Well, that means we have to close this one up. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed us talking about Borderlands 3. If you want to watch our gameplay, that's over on YouTube. And we will catch you all in the next one.
See ya.
Bye.